so-called leaders prostituted us to the West, destroyed our culture, our economies, our honor. Our blood has been spilled on our soil. My blood on their hands. They are the invaders. All US and British forces will leave Russia immediately or suffer the consequences.
It's quite simple. Either we retake the launch facility or we won't recognize the world tomorrow. Green light to Halo. Charlie team, go. Second drop approaching. Bravo team, stay tight. Go. Regroup on me.
Hey look, it's Captain Bitchface. Fuck you.
Of course, put it on a movie, show, and it's commercial.
Classic Call of Duty, I got yelled at for stabbing Price. What up, boys? Not much. It's a nice AK-47 you got there. I'll take that off your hands. I don't know, I didn't call him this morning, so he's probably not gonna be on. Unless I know he hasn't really been feeling that well. That's the problem, eating. He's just not. AK-7 for you. Ew. I would have helped. Ow. Okay, now I know to throw a grenade in that door instead of a flashbang. That's nice. Mm-hmm. Why didn't the multiple grenades go off? Hold on. Oh, that I have to re-put. Okay. Let's try this again.
Transported to the county jail, including Diego Jose Zayas Martinez. He's been charged with making terroristic threats and stabbing a man. He was just in court at his bond hearing, where his bail was set at $100,000. Watch as the deputy escorts the men to the bus. There's Zayas Martinez. Like the other defendants, he's wearing handcuffs. But his feet are free, so he decides to use them.
Yep.
Let's take a closer look. Zayas Martinez makes a break for it, just beyond the grasp of the second deputy. And the officers immediately give
Let me
chase.
call the fuck and see if he's awake yet. Nah, I don't leave messages. I'm good.
Shakespeare made local news after he won $30 million in the Florida lottery. Moore later befriended him. Then gained control.
I bet you guys are wondering how I got Legend's name to be actually tagged in the live stream, huh?
And now it's become a persecution.
Then shortly after Moore's financial takeover,
So
Shakespeare disappeared.
basically, since he's at 1K, I can tag him
Concrete at Moore's
in the live stream.
been shot twice in the chest.
And what I gotta do is, not only did I type it in on my PlayStation to where it's in the title, but I had to go on my phone and edit the live stream while it's live, and then I could actually tag him from there,
What started as
because he wasn't tagged at first until I edited it on my phone.
We're told to
You can edit it on your computer too, but yeah, that's how you do it.
Moore's behavior is also called out by the judge.
Xbox, you can't live stream to YouTube on, not unless you got either a capture card or capture card to link to the computer, and I don't think the Xbox has a remote play like PlayStation, so you can't really use the remote play to live stream from either.
That is to stop. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
As far as I know, Xbox only had Mixer and Twitch. They didn't have YouTube feature. Funny thing, they said Mixer is not existent anymore. Because I tried to look for it and it really is not there.
I was allergic to it, so I had allergic reaction.
Which I don't get why Xbox didn't just update to where they can have YouTube instead of Mixer, since it's not existent, but you know how they are. Exactly. Just like Captain Fuckhead in front of me here. He's stupid too.
tell Abraham's mother that I was him.
In the end, it seems Moore's behavior has little impact on the jury.
The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
While Moore shakes her head in disbelief, members of Shakespeare's family seem relieved by the conviction. All that's left for Judge Kenneth Battles.
See, I've never had a problem with it on phone.
But before that, he doesn't mince words with Moore.
Words that were said here, cold, calculated, cruel, they all apply. Probably the most manipulative person that this court has seen.
D.D. Moore received a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Do you want to shut the cameras off now?
You're welcome. I threw a flashbang into the room so you assholes can shoot them. What's with everybody in the AK-7 for you? It's a piece of shit.
On trial is Jerome Boggs, accused of killing Blister Cook and his 4-year-old son, TJ. He's also facing charges of burglary and robbery. Boggs reportedly went to the Cook home to buy marijuana. Once inside, the drug deal turned into a robbery and double murder. Boggs is in court for his arraignment. He's pled not guilty to all charges. In the gallery are members of the victim's family, devastated by this horrific crime. The judge orders Boggs held without bond and sends him back to his cell. Just as
there's one, there's two. Alright, everybody get the fuck back before I blow you to bits.
Brother Michael charging towards the defendant. A second brother, Donald Keith, makes an attempt to get at Boggs. While officers handle that situation, a third man makes a run at Boggs, but no luck. He slips out the back door. Luckily for Boggs, there are several officers in the courtroom who prevent those angry family members from getting to Boggs. He's later found guilty of all charges and sentenced to life in prison with no chance for parole.
You know what, Mr. Schwartz?
I like this.
You were ready. And you're telling me you weren't ready?
Voices magnified with John Guevara, Operations and Development Associate at Beat the Streets.
I got involved with Beat the Streets because I just wanted to be a champion wrestler. It takes time, it takes commitment, it takes people, coaches who are willing to
You can't pull on it too much because it's
Generation X was cocky, arrogant, egotistical. They were cool. We went places you weren't supposed to go, and all of it was real. Biography, WWE Legends, continues with Generation X, Sunday at 8 on A&E.
Today, you took Centrum.
I'll take that, thank you.
Taking charge of your health. Centrum gives you 100% of the daily.
Although I'm gonna need my AK-47 back.
You can save with Centrum.
Even though it's almost empty.
And raise the jar. It's a gelato made from scratch.
An asshole with an RPG. I don't know what you're talking about. You're not hiding very well up there. I miss Black Ops 2 where I could shoot people right to the wall.
What you thinking, baby? Sounds good.
Are you serious? I picked the grenade up and threw it back. And I was completely blind. AK, you could just stay there.
Next, we're in Cambridge, Illinois, for the trial of 39-year-old Kristen Holtzman. During the previous year, friends and community members rallied around the mother of two after she posted on social media she'd been diagnosed with brain cancer. Numerous fundraisers were organized and raised more than $16,000 to help pay for her treatment. Problem is,
I wish I could take the silencer off. That'd be nice.
After receiving a complaint, police opened an investigation and looked at her medical records and use of the donation. When things didn't add up, she was charged with felony theft. As Holtzman's attorney, Jack Schwartz, cross-examines one of the prosecution witnesses, he brings up a criminal charge from the woman's past, but it's one she was never convicted of.
It looks like it was dismissed, however, she was forced to pay restitution.
Schwartz has just made a major legal mistake.
Are you kidding me that it was dismissed and you're bringing up something that was dismissed?
As you can see, the attorney's maneuver really sets off Judge Casey Stengel.
You know what, Mr. Schwartz, you know the rules of Montgomery or the Illinois Supreme Court rules and the rules of evidence regarding impeachment, do you not?
The rules Judge Stengel's referring to are that a witness's criminal history is only allowed in court if it was a felony conviction or a misdemeanor conviction proving dishonesty. In this case, it was neither, but perhaps a backhanded attempt to undermine the witness's credibility.
And how long have you been practicing law to know those rules?
A long time, Judge.
Feeling the judge's wrath, Attorney Schwartz doesn't even look up to answer his questions.
So why did you happen to bring this out?
Of course, nobody left it in here.
Did you want to put jelly on first?
Right. When given an opportunity to patch things up with the judge, this attorney drops the most bizarre excuse in court camp history.
Judge, I became aware of it this morning, and as you know, I only have one eye.
You guys coming up or what?
Judge, I became aware of it this morning, and as you know, I only have one eye.
Wait a minute, Mr. Schwartz.
You're about to see Judge Stengel go from pretty upset to human.
I gave you time for a recess for you to prepare for this question, for to cross-examine this witness. You said that you were ready. And you're telling me you weren't ready?
No, I thought I was ready, Judge.
Well, you know, you made a very serious mistake here, Mr. Schwartz, and there are going to be sanctions because this is part of your strategy, and you made a mistake.
That wasn't a thing, Scam.
Was not sanctioned, but back to the more important issue. Kristen Holtzman's allegedly false cancer claim and felony theft more than $16,000 in donations. After a 5-day trial, the jury delivers a verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Kristen Holtzman, guilty of the offense of theft.
Later at sentencing, Holtzman pleads her case one last
Did you have to stand in my way? I was trying to snipe somebody here.
This crime that I committed is not who I am. And I am 100% positive that
He's lucky I can't fucking shoot him.
Previous to the crime and
or I would have.
Now, you would see that I was a good person.
Judge Stengel doesn't buy it.
You're a complete fraud. And I have no compassion for you.
For felony theft by deception.
Damn, this whole time I could have ran up in that fucking tower right here.
3 years in prison,
I think.
Followed by 2 years in
No, there's no way up there.
And is ordered to pay $16,000 in restitution.
Ladder's broken.
The letters LOL appear in the messages after it was learned that they had killed someone.
low along?
No, baby.
You dumbass. He ran up next to exploding barrels like, oh, this is a good idea. Boom, dead. MP5. Yes, please. Actually, let me use all the grenades on this first. No, you don't. Is that? How much ammo? Damn it. Every single one I pick up has little to nothing. And everyone else wants to use the 7 for you. You missed. That time you didn't. Still died though. Come on, peek your head out. Thank you. So, you like how I stabbed them and it didn't do anything? Oh, so now you give me max ammo for my AK because I died. Thanks, game. Something stupid that you might not like at all. The gameplay is dumb.
Next we go to a hearing
because it's a kids game. He likes kids games.
4 teenagers have pled guilty to manslaughter in the death of 32-year-old Kenneth White. A fifth defendant,
What do you think Kingdom Hearts is?
has already pled guilty as an
And
adult.
Fall Guys.
The teens threw a 6-pound rock off a highway.
I said, what do you think Kingdom Hearts is and Fall Guys?
Striking White in the head. The driver, Stephen Anther, seeing his friend injured,
All kids
called
games.
911 for help.
Only ones I have are the Brawl Star, Multiverse, and some Sonic shit.
White, a father of 4, aged to be married, died shortly afterwards at the hospital. The 4 defendants all agreed to plead guilty to manslaughter with one stipulation: that they be tried as juveniles, not adults. Judge Joseph Ferris tasked
I mean, I have Fall Guys, but I don't have it installed.
But first, he hears from the victim's fiancé.
It automatically transfers the PS5. Along with Fortnite automatically with the 5.
As Judge Farah weighs his decision, several factors work against the teams, including the fact that for these boys, dropping objects from overpasses was apparently a regular pastime.
There wasn't one event, nor was it done at a single location. The rocks and other items were gathered from other locations, loaded in a truck, and then driven to overpasses to throw them over. Also thrown at other times at other locations. Tire irons, a muffler, a shopping cart, a couch.
Well then.
What was the purpose in this game called overpassing? And then it stopped. When somebody was killed.
Additionally, the teens made light of the horrific crime through dozens of heartless Snapchat messages.
51 times the letters LOL, LMAO, or HaHa appear in the messages, and many after it was learned that
Of course, every single one's targeting America. Why fucking not?
will be fine. Only way you get in trouble is if I won't say the word, spelled rats.
I'm going. Shut up, Price. You're just crouching and being a little bitch.
We're going to the slammer.
As Kenneth White's grieving mother watches from the gallery, Judge Farah announces his decision.
The proposal for juvenile sentencing is rejected.
Once that decision is issued,
oh,
four
jeez.
defendants withdraw their guilty plea and choose to go to trial. While awaiting trial,
Surround me, why don't you?
without bond, while a fourth, Alexander Miller, is out on $25,000 bond. As for the fifth defendant, Kyle Anger, who's already pled guilty to second-degree murder, he begins serving a sentence of 39 months to 20 years in Michigan State Prison.
We were all in it together. All of them, equal all.
That's all for this edition of Court Cam. I'm Dan Abrams.
They wanted to be tried as juvenile.
Yep.
He denied that notion.
You were killed by a grenade that didn't even show up on the indicator. That's nice.
They all knew what they were doing.
First up, we're in Vancouver, Washington, where a 16-year-old is in juvenile court after violating his probation. He's joined by his mother. Next to them is the court clerk. But noticeably absent is his attorney. As Judge John Woolley inquires about the lawyer's whereabouts, the teen addresses the court.
I would like to fight for myself.
I found a tank.
It appears this young defendant wants to play Perry Mason, but Judge Woolley doesn't necessarily think that's a good idea.
Oh, that's not a smart play. That's like going out on the field with the New York Yankees and you've never even learned how to play baseball. That's fine. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have an attorney assist you in this matter. I'm not going to let you fly solo and walk into a court of law and try to practice law when he isn't afraid of high school.
You want to shoot me from across the map, then I guess you don't like me pulling out a sniper, do you?
What Judge Woolley doesn't clarify is that he believes a juvenile can't
9 times out of 10, I don't miss.
without an attorney present.
I'm not accepting the mission of defense. So put it out for Tuesday for either admit or deny, or for whether or not you'll be a replacement of the attorney.
So far, it looks like Judge Woolley's doing everything in his power to help this defendant. But when the team continues to question him, the judge loses his temper.
Because I'm doing my job, sir. My job requires that I protect your constitutional rights. You as an American citizen. That's my charge. And if you're too stupid to know that what I'm trying to do is protect you, then let me spell it out for you. So step one is I bring the case back with an attorney. And then talk.
Notice as the court clerk tries to signal to the team to be quiet.
Because I'm doing my job, sir.
Then scores some brownie points with the boss by backing him up.
And at least the Supreme Court has backed you up on that.
They have. And I'm sure the U.S. Supreme would too.
And listen carefully as Mom expresses her dissatisfaction.
Thanks, teammate, for finally doing your job.
The Supreme Court was backing up on that.
They have. And I'm sure the U.S. Supreme would too.
Okay, you're going to take this and you're going to have a seat. You're going to be back in court. Perhaps sensing the mood shift in the courtroom, Judge Willie offers an apology.
My apologies to everyone in this courtroom. I very rarely lose my temper.
If you want to call it that.
But when I do, it's usually because someone is too stupid to recognize that I'm trying to help them.
There are just a few issues with Judge Willie's backhanded apology. One, he's just doubled down on calling the defendant stupid.
Which isn't because someone is too stupid to recognize that I'm trying to help them.
And two,
I very rarely lose my temper.
He was trying to help the kid.
County Bond Court in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Mr. Shanus, Abraham Arthur Shanus, and I have been legally divorced for 31 years, and I have the papers to prove it.
This is 80-year-old Dolores Shanus. She landed herself in jail for resisting arrest after violating a restraining order filed by her ex-husband.
We both resided at 20 Bend, and he paid for the apartment entirely. His assumption is because he paid for the apartment, he's entitled to do as he pleases.
I can't get in the middle of who owns the apartment.
I know, that's not the point. My point is to leave.
I need to keep you away from it.
Listen, I haven't bothered him for 31 years. Why would I bother him now?
Rather than actually getting up in arms, Judge John Hurley decides to release Shanus on a personal recovery.
That's the only thing that sucks about the cluster bomb. It comes right back to you.
You're not allowed to call him.
If you're not careful.
Email him. You were to stay 500 feet from him at all times. That's where he lives, where he works, anywhere in between. Man, you're getting a second chance on this case. I don't particularly feel like keeping an 80-year-old woman in the jail.
Come on, dumbass, drive right over to fucking C4.
Second warning. Don't go around it again.
I swear to God and all the Tony and the sack of Bible, I will never.
Yeah, stupid fuck.
Talk to him, call him, or
What was the first thing you were going to swear on besides the Bibles? What?
I don't remember. What?
All is holy.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, all that's holy, yes, sir. I didn't recognize your twang.
The senior's sassy remark catches Judge Hurley off guard.
Ma'am, have you ever thought of doing a stand-up routine? Have you ever thought about that?
I did. Well, if you pay me good money, sweetheart, I'll be there. I'm really short of food.
Man, I gotta tell you something. You seem like you have a great wit about you.
I do, sir.
Yeah, so...
I mean, sweetheart, that's the only thing.
That's nice.
And I think call sweetheart in this courtroom.
Does that mean you're taking me for breakfast?
Let me ask you something, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I felt a hole.
How have I done as a judge today? So far, how am I doing?
Not bad, but you could do better.
Can we get a drum roll for this?
With the case already wrapped up, the only thing the judge, the public defender, and all the other inmates are waiting for is one final punchline.
Hey teammates, you want to keep me covered, maybe, so I can take out the tanks, since none of you are clever enough to do so?
She got them all laughing.
You are never a mother to your child. You are a female breed who neglected your child for the love of a bum.
No, come on, yeah.
Was he in a ventilation system? Or they're awful small fucking people, one or the other.
Next, we head to Cleveland's Municipal Court, where Judge Pinky Carr's presiding. It's March 17, 2020. The country's in the early stages of the COVID-19.
Okay, hold it a little longer this time.
Not here, as I've noted all week.
Walk out of the way, Bryce.
Corona, day 3.
Because of health risks, Cleveland's administrative court has issued an order that all hearings for defendants who are not in jail have been postponed. So why is Judge Carr's courtroom still open for all business?
Docket number 31, bond is set at $2,500.
It's a question on the mind of Assistant Public Defender Mark Jablonski.
Is there one having a docket tomorrow?
Oh yeah, nothing stops me. My cases go on.
Does that apply to jails only?
No, anyone that shows up. Not everybody watches the news. I actually had people yesterday. I have people today. Yeah, I'm not going to do that to people.
The judge's statement contradicts the administrative order regarding COVID-19, and Jablonski wants an explanation.
If we are able to hold any of our clients for schedule tomorrow, we're not in jail, can we tell them that?
No.
So the court's administrative order regarding...
I'm here. If people show up, I'm here. So no, don't call people and tell them not to show up. If they show up, I'm here.
But this judge isn't just allowing people to show up. She's punishing those who don't. In the preceding days, she'd issued several arrest warrants, which in court terminology is known as a capias.
Capias. Bond is set at $5,000. Officer present, no defendant. Capias will be issued.
Continuing his exchange regarding the order, Jablonski asked the judge about her position one last time.
Yeah, don't do that. Hi, for the third time, I will be here. If people show up, I am here. Okay, thank you.
The heck?
I'm gonna tell you, he's not all together.
What, the judge?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't sound like that at all.
Something happened. Paperwork.
Client's hearings discusses it with her staff.
She sounds like she's drugged up or something.
Hey, come on, call him and tell him don't come. I'm sure he is. Little idiot.
But soon after, when the local media hears about the arrest warrants, the judge denies it.
If people came to court and they were willing to risk their health, I figured I would return the favor. As far as issuing warrants for their arrest, absolutely untrue.
But when the video showing the opposite becomes public,
Capias. Bond is set at $10,000. Capias. Bond is set at $5,000. You know what? I'll just put a straight Capias in.
the Ohio Supreme Court orders Judge Carr to temporarily stop presiding on all criminal or traffic cases. And an investigation by the Ohio Board of Professional Conduct is launched. Carr faces sanctions which could range from a warning to full disbarment.
Damn, overuse a light machine gun much?
I don't feel like I'm in jail. I feel like...
Okay, I got spammed.
Days in.
I'll be back, boys.
11 minutes before those missiles reach the eastern seaboard. Over. Copy that.
Duct tape.
I'm back.
She wouldn't walk away. And why did you wrap her entire head in duct tape?
Probably so she couldn't scream.
He has no remorse at all.
In an area thick with vegetation, Nelson stabbed Fulford to death and left her body.
Out of hiding, asshole.
Intended to kill that woman. It was not in my heart to do that. It wasn't what I had to live. I didn't want to kill that woman. She lived that way with me. I believe the term is collateral damage. Surveillance video from the ATM, as well as DNA evidence found in the victim's car, helped seal Nelson's fate. He was found guilty of the first-degree kidnapping and murder of Jennifer Fulford.
Really? I can't run and jump over the edge?
He again took the stand
That's some
during the
bullshit.
penalty phase of the trial.
How has your mental health been affected by your previous incarceration?
I am a homicidal maniac.
And when I stab somebody, it does nothing?
God
Okay.
damn!
The jury sentenced Scott Nelson to life without parole for the murder of Jennifer Fulford.
Don't put it over too much because you got wood there. There's a splash over there. It's right up there, there.
After 18 years, I'm finally free.
They're just out of prison.
What's your worst fear? I'm about to take an inmate in to live with me.
Some people will do anything to keep their freedom.
We have your list of rules. But I don't want to get myself into here.
Your life is on the line.
I got a lot to lose. It's very important for me not to go back to prison.
How far would you go?
We're done here. I'm leaving.
I gotta go home. What's that thing here?
Sorry, thank you.
Inmate to Roommate. Series premieres Thursday, August 18th at 10. Only on A&E.
Right now at Ashley, you can get free delivery.
Let me try calling him again.
3-month interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic, Beauty Red Black, and Purple mattresses. Only at America's #1 furniture.
Alright, I'm here.
inside?
The whole thing.
Everything?
Yes, the edges too. Well, I'm trying to put as much negative.
Still there, Wesley? Alright. So I was looking at my YouTube to see how to change the watermark. I got it changed. And I also went on to the subscriber count. 1,223.
I'm gonna be making a mess.
You're dying by the knife this time, asshole. Most of your teammates are gonna be dumb anyway. Yes, most of the teammates are gonna be stupid anyway. Nobody knows how to play that game anymore.
charges. Today he's in court to find out whether Magistrate Sue O'Connor will allow him to remain out on pretrial release.
I rebut, guys. What? You can stop.
Apparently surprised by the ruling, Nicholson turns to his attorney.
Let's have a contract.
But before he gets an answer, Magistrate O'Connor shuts down the conversation.
Take a seat. Take a seat.
Yes, please, miss.
Take this. I'll show you what this means.
Slow down.
Just moments later, perhaps realizing he's about to be locked up, Nicholson decides to bail himself out of the situation. Inside what's known as the dock, Nicholson steps up onto a table and
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know there was somebody behind me.
to one officer as he tries to restrain him. After slipping through their fingers, he's able to get one foot on top of the divider and launch himself onto a nearby table and then into the arms of this officer. With the courtroom descending into chaos, a woman makes a plea on Nicholson's behalf.
So I try to go one way and I get shot from the other way. No matter which way I go.
But as he continues to push his way toward the door, more officers pile on before he can make it there. Daniel Nicholson later pleaded guilty to attempting to escape custody, 2 counts of recklessly causing harm to a prescribed emergency worker. He admitted to being under the influence of crystal meth at the time, saying he was just, quote, freaked out. Nicholson was sentenced to 21 months in prison with parole eligibility after 1 year. As for the original weapons charge, he pled guilty and was ordered to pay a $320 fine.
Hey teammates, you want to step in and do your job? I remember why I stopped playing this Call of Duty specifically.
Next we go to Kalamazoo, Michigan, for the trial and sentencing of Charles Pickett. 52-year-old was charged with 5 counts of second-degree murder and 4 counts of operating a vehicle while causing serious injury. 2 years earlier, Pickett struck a group of cyclists out for an evening ride with his pickup truck, killing 5 of them, wounding 4. Earlier in the day, Pickett had taken several painkillers, as well as methamphetamine, and was allegedly driving nearly 60 miles per hour in a 35-mile zone at the time of the crash. When paramedics arrived at the scene, the uninjured Pickett was incoherent. Pickett pleaded not guilty, claiming he didn't know the drugs he ingested would cause him to drive so erratically. The prosecution appealed and focused their case on the damage Pickett imposed on the victims who were killed, as well as those who survived. This is Jennifer Johnson, organizer of the bike ride who was maimed, describing the scary moment after the crash. She came to.
Waking up, opening my eyes.
Shot him right in the balls.
Seeing my left arm tightly gripping a fence, and I just remember seeing her covering my gloves and my riding jersey. So then I started scanning my body just to assess what was going on. And I struggled when I couldn't find my right leg. So I kept looking and I found it very acutely over my right shoulder.
It took the jury 4 hours to return with a verdict. Guilty on all counts. At sentencing, the prosecution asked for the maximum sentence, life in prison.
Once they get a little bit warm, we'll take it out and put it, it'll melt better.
Should never, ever have the opportunity to get out and get behind the wheel of the car again. And the only way to do that is to make sure that the numbers that he's going to go away for and serve in prison don't allow for even that possibility.
Next, it was Pickett's turn to address the court, as well as the victims and their families.
Person that fucking we've ever taken back. I'd like to just the rest of my life. I would give my life for the people that murdered and killed and maimed and everything else. And I just want to stay free. We had a lot of
When Pickett was finished, the judge announced his sentence. 38 to 73 years in a state prison. Pickett's earliest release date is June 2056. And he will be 90 years old.
He's not going to make it out of prison.
Oh, flower?
Yeah, I'm done with the flower.
On a day without migraine, my whole body feels free. Because my eyes don't shy from the light, my head doesn't pound, and my stomach isn't nauseous.
It's time for migraine prevention delivered differently through an IV infusion. It's time for Vyepti, a preventive treatment for migraine in adults. Vyepti is designed to start working fast and to last, with a 30-minute IV infusion 4 times a year, delivering 100% of the medication directly into your bloodstream. The power of a Vyepti infusion will help to reduce monthly migraine days. Some have fewer migraine days with the very first treatment. Don't take if allergic to Vyepti. Common side effects are allergic reactions, stuffy nose, and scratchy throat. Allergic reactions include rash, swelling, eyes, and redness of the face. Choose to infuse with migraine prevention delivered differently. Talk to a neurologist or migraine specialist about Vyepti. Learn how you can save.
Debt has this way of dominating your life, keeping you from living and being who you really are. National Debt Relief can help change that. They can get you out of the cycle of minimum payments without going into bankruptcy or getting a consolidation loan, which just transfers your debt. See, National Debt Relief is this powerhouse team. They negotiate with your creditors to reduce the amount you owe by a lot.
National Debt Relief can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months.
You need someone like National Debt Relief on your side who knows how to navigate the system and get you out of debt. It's time to put your debt behind you and get busy living. National Debt Relief can help you get back to being
There's enough flour first.
You gotta take the first step. If you owe more than $10,000, call or visit nationaldebtrelief.com to find out how you can become debt-free.
Hey, everything okay? I know the last time we talked, you said something about going back to school. And can we...
That's the one I was using. Okay, we're rolling.
Next, we go inside the Fall River, Massachusetts District Courthouse for an arraignment hearing. The defendant proclaiming her innocence is 38-year-old Olivia Lara. After an investigation by local police and Homeland Security, she was charged with 3 counts of human trafficking and deriving support from prostitution for allegedly providing underage sex trafficking victims to patrons of a local bar. Investigators claim Lara arranged sex for customers, then drove 3 girls aged 15 to 17 to various locations to meet with the men and perform sexual acts in exchange for money. her arraignment after the judge sets cash bond at $100,000, Laura first becomes emotional. And then, spins out of control.
You're welcome, legend. Ah, that was friendly. Oops. Hell yeah, man. It's your day. Enjoy yourself.
As Laura's taken into custody, she pauses for a moment before slamming her head against a plexiglass divider. It appears the deputy's first instinct is to grab the back of the defendant's head so she's unable to harm herself. The deputy struggles to gain control, but finally gets Laura to the floor as another officer helps.
Can you stop hiding behind the barrels?
Including distraught members of the defendant's family.
Ah, you hit something.
Olivia Lara would later plead guilty to the lesser charge of deriving support from prostitution. She was sentenced to 3 years in jail. That's it for this edition of Court Cam. I'm Dan Abrams. Thanks for watching.
How about Don't make a difference how it goes on.
That's some bull.
That's fucking as hell.
And this is Court Cam.
My 1911 works any other time.
We kick things off in Orange County, Florida, where the defendant is making his second appearance here on Court Cam. Jeremy DeWitt. Did I say that right? 41-year-old Jeremy DeWitt is charged with carrying a concealed weapon. The Orange County Sheriff's Office is very familiar with DeWitt.
I might just sit this in the refrigerator for now.
DeWitt's been arrested several times in the past and convicted once for impersonating a police officer.
What are you doing? What the f*** look like I'm doing? Get the f*** over before you find out. Not because you're a police officer.
DeWitt runs a security company that provides escort service during funeral processions. But he has a long history of using this business to drive recklessly through traffic. Block intersections.
Go past me! Go past me!
And confront other drivers when he believes they're disrupting his services.
Hey!
Police eventually caught up with DeWitt, and he was charged in 2 different counties with impersonating an officer and failing to register as a sex offender. He was released on bond. And that's when police catch up with him again, 10 months later. A deputy stops him along with one of his employees when he sees DeWitt carrying what appears to be a firearm. When DeWitt learns why he's being arrested...
If it doesn't stop dodging me, that'd be nice.
I do not know that is a firearm. That is a firearm right now. Alright, Jeremy, being arrested for carrying a concealed weapon.
I'm trying. I don't see you doing this.
DeWitt is furious with police, and there seems to be only one thing on his mind.
Give me a lieutenant! Give me a lieutenant! He was in plain view! He's in plain view! Give me a lieutenant! Get out! Get out of the car! Where's the lieutenant? Where's the lieutenant? Where's the lieutenant?
But the real police don't take kindly to his demands.
Give me a lieutenant! Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? I'm a deputy. I'm not an officer. You don't tell me what to do. Stop yelling at me, and I'm going to stop yelling at you. Do not yell. Do not raise your voice to me. Yes, sir. Do you understand? You already asked the sergeant for lieutenant. You don't get to pick and choose who comes to the traffic stop.
DeWitt's taken to the station and officially charged with carrying a concealed weapon. But when it's later determined it was just an unloaded pepper ball gun.
This online identifies as a Glock, basically a Glock replica. Can you show me on here anywhere, I mean, I don't know why you have a light on it, less lethal, but can you show me anywhere on here where it gives anybody the idea that this is not a firearm, that it's a less lethal?
I can't answer that. I don't make those. But you know they're less lethal.
No, I don't know. If I saw this, I wouldn't know that.
That's where you're going. But you can say that to somebody else.
Okay. How's it going, sir? Good, how are you?
The charges are dropped.
Wherever you want to go. Do you need to go? Where can I take you?
Isn't it amazing how nice you guys are to screw up? Thank you. Let's go. Come on.
But DeWitt's far from being out of the woods. Because of this recent arrest, his current bond is revoked. So DeWitt goes before the judge to clarify the situation.
I was on bond. They revoked my bond with a new charge, but that charge was dropped.
He has approximately 111 other cases that he's currently forced.
Oh, you got a bunch of different cases that are taken.
Right.
DeWitt's eventually set free with his bond back in place. But was supposed to stand trial for impersonating a police
5 years in
officer.
prison.
And if found guilty, he could be looking at 5 years in prison.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we're at the Fresno Criminal Courthouse for a hearing. 31-year-old inmate Brandon Brophy's been charged with burglary. He's in this courtroom about to begin proceedings when he decides he's not that interested in sticking around. A shackled Brophy doesn't get far before a deputy tries to restrain him in the hallway. During the struggle, Brophy appears to go with the deputy's gun, as two bystanders decide they want no part of the situation. Brophy's a foot taller and at least 50 pounds heavier than the deputy, but she's determined to keep Brophy from getting away. Another bystander sees the struggle, and unlike the two who took off earlier, bravely joins in, helping subdue Brophy by applying a headlock. Deputies and court staff eventually rush in to provide backup.
A good Samaritan helped her. The other two were chicken.
Brophy subdued, shackled,
What would
placed
you
in a
do?
wheelchair,
I
and
know.
wheeled back to jail. Brophy was arrested and booked again into the Fresno County Jail on new felony charges of escaping jail, in addition to the original burglary charge. His bail set at $1,693,000 as he awaits his next court date.
I don't know, is he getting on?
They're getting bigger.
He said he'd do a 12-hour live stream. He hasn't started anything yet. Yeah, I saw. Now there you guys are, you fucking light.
No, I know my cutting board's in that container.
Want me to look, Izzy?
I know it is. I'm the one to put it in there. In this container, I'm going to need the measuring cup, the 1 cup, and the 1/3.
Take the towels or top of your biscuits over here, man.
Sure.
Alright guys, that was it. Hope you all liked the video. And make sure you check out Legend for when he goes live. If he goes live today. And I'll see you on the next live stream, everyone. Thanks for watching. And I think I might start another one on a different game.